Good morning to you, and you. Good morning this morning. It's time now for 9 for 9. It's time with me, Pastor Carzadine, 9 o'clock a.m. Just want to come in this morning and say good morning to you, see how you're doing, be encouraged, inspire, and be inspired this morning. This morning, we're going to talk about what does right look like. Now, I need your input on that. What does right look like? I don't know it all, but we're going to talk about what does right look like. I'm going to be right back, but I want to ask you to share, to like, to go over to rhemacfm virtual and subscribe, and I'll be right back. I'm here. Good morning. Good morning to you and you this morning. This morning, we're talking about what does right look like? Right. What is right? First of all, right is about being morally good. And listen now, this is a definition I found, okay? Morally good, but we know right from what? Wrong. Thank you, Lord. Wow. What does right look like? Right, morally good. Right means justified, okay? So if you make a choice, your choice is justified. You make the right choice, it's justified. That means you can say, hey, I made this choice. I'm good about it. I feel good about it. It was the right thing to do. Right can be acceptable. What is acceptable? So, what does right look like? Right looks like not harming. We can talk about what right looks like by talking about what it doesn't look like or shouldn't look like. Right looks like not hurting. Right looks like peace and calm. Right looks like decisions that will upbuild or build up. Right. What does right look like in your eyes? Right doesn't look like, telling somebody off. Right doesn't look like cheating on your test. Right doesn't look like skimping money, skimming a little off the top, taking a little hit on the bottom. That's not right. That's not what right looks like. So let me give you Proverbs 21:3. A reason we should want to know what right looks like and do right. It says to do what is right and just, remember I talked about justified, is more acceptable to the Lord than a sacrifice. So to do what is right and just is more acceptable than a sacrifice. And we can look at that in so many ways right now, but it is what it is and it says what it says. To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. That means you can be a tither. You can give all you want to give. You can give in your service. You can be the first one to open the building. You can serve on committees and boards and run this and run that and help with this and help with that. That may be your sacrifice, but are you doing it because it's right? Are you making the choice because of good moral values? Are you making the choice because it's acceptable? Things that aren't acceptable. A man streaking down the street, which means naked, that's not acceptable. We might see it more often now, but it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to our eyes. So when we feel things aren't acceptable to our eyes or to our minds or to our thoughts, guess what? They're probably not acceptable to him either. What is right? Someone passing, oh my gosh, I don't know why this one came through, passing the offering plate and you're putting in, but someone else is taking out. What does right look like? Does right look like you teaching your children to do what's right, to make good choices, but in their presence, you're not? you're not making the best choices. You're teaching them that we should love one another, love our neighbor, but then they hear you on the phone talking or bashing your neighbor. They hear you in a conversation with your bestie. It doesn't sound like the best thing in the world. What is right? What does right look like? You saying to your child's teacher, oh no, my child doesn't act like that at home. But in actuality, you know they do. You know, you see the signs of them telling somebody off, cursing somebody out. I don't know where they got those words from when you just cussed out your brother or sister yesterday. What does right look like? Does right look like you having an attitude with your boss because they had to give you some direction? They had to talk to you about the job being done better. And maybe you're doing a good job, but maybe they're in their eyes or in their evaluation, there's some things that you could do to do it just a little better. What does right look like? Does right look like taking that advice, taking that charge, taking that evaluation and saying, hey, I'm not going to have an attitude about it, but I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to do it better. And so, what does right really look like? To do what is right and just is more acceptable than sacrifice. And even if I took the Lord out of that, to do what is right and just is more acceptable than sacrifice. Sometimes when we don't make the right choice, guess what happens? We sacrifice some things that we weren't ready to sacrifice. If we don't take that advice from that boss, guess what happens? We might not have that job. If we don't talk to and chastise our children about their disrespect or behavior with the teacher, they might get put out of school. And so, what does right look like? Does right look like they better not put my child out of the school? I'm sick of her telling my child what to do. Well, why did you send them to be under the authority of this person? Come on, people. What does right look like? In our society today, right is looking like a lot of wrong. And I said that because we're accepting some things that we know, man, we know it's not right. But because it pertains specifically to us, we want to make it right. We want to make it feel right. We want to think it's okay. And it's not okay. So, hey, that's all I can tell us this morning about this right here. Okay? What does right look like? Wow. Hi there. Good morning. And listen, I want y'all to hit, hey, what does right look like to you? If I'm not doing it right, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look what's right. If you're saying something or you're treating somebody a certain way, that doesn't look like it's right. You may feel like they did it to me, but is it justified? Is it acceptable? By him, first of all. But is it acceptable even with us? You know, when we choose some wrong things to do, go rob a bank. That's not acceptable. Go steal out of a store. That's not acceptable. And you're going to answer to the earth and to him. What does right look like? Okay, let's think about that on this Monday Matters. Because what matters today on this Monday is that we go through the week knowing what right looks like. Wow. Let me say a few good mornings this morning. Good morning. Good morning. I see my Jackie watching this morning. I love you. Good morning, my sister Connie. My sister cousin Connie, my bestie Jackie is here. Good morning, my sister Pam. God bless you. Sister Faison, I see you. Good morning, my Pam. Good morning. I'm trying to work with following Elder a little bit more. Go ahead, Elder. And not get ahead of him when I'm saying my good mornings. Anasia, good morning, lovely. Good morning to you, you, and you. Listen, y'all throw me up some heart emojis. I want to ask you to share this, and I do want to ask you to go over to YouTube and find rhemacfm Virtual, and I want you to subscribe for me, please. If you can get a couple of people to subscribe, that'll help me out a whole lot. We are airing on YouTube as well as right here on Facebook. I know most of my followers are right here on Facebook. But hey, good morning, my Connie. God bless you. Hope you had safe travels. Just want to say, do what's right. But in order to do what's right, you got to know what right looks like. Okay. So, hey, that's my time this morning, my 9 for 9 and a smidgen of overtime. And I'm going to do what's right by me this morning and help myself. Listen, I want you to really think about starting that day with your warm cup of positivity. God bless you. I love you. And I'll see you next time. Thursday is our last love day for the month. That's good.